All right, everyone, welcome back. I am in a vehicle for an oil change, and driver's side mirrors busted off. Stay with me. Stay with me. Don't swipe. The wiper blades are shot. A little show off here. Wiper blades are streaking and noisy. I mean, they're not horrible. Some front end noise. I hear some brake noise. This video is about why Toyota and Lexus vehicles last so long. Let me give you a little story. Toyota and Lexus, basically the same brands. Wheel bearings are screaming, or the tires are screaming in this Hyundai. When those cars are produced brand new, that the customer who buys them usually goes back to the dealership for repairs and maintenance. Usually. I would say probably more customers within the first 100,000 miles are going back to the dealerships for repairs and maintenance. The keys are repairs under warranty and maintenance that's not covered, they're actually doing. And that's why Toyota and Lexus last so long. And it's one of the best vehicles to buy pre-owned. It is very unlikely that you buy a Lexus or Toyota that's neglected. Typically the second owner would be the culprit of that. It's usually not the first owner. And I'm going to give you an example. I have a used car dealer that buys trades from a Lexus dealer. I will tell you, when I go through the used car recondition process, that little to no repairs are required, and we don't get into missed maintenance. The reason why those vehicles last so long is because those customers are doing the maintenance and they're doing the repairs. That's how you get a car to last. Listen to guys like Scotty Kilmer and other clowns out there that say your car doesn't need this and it doesn't need that, and this mechanic's just trying to rip you off, and you don't have to do GDIs, you don't have to do tune-ups, you don't have to do tire rotations and balances, you don't have to do wheel alignments yearly. These guys are not the professionals in the industry. And this is just kind of give you an example on why Toyota and Lexus are usually the better vehicles to buy pre-owned. That means after that customer is done with the 10 years that they had that vehicle, that they just want to upgrade. Not that there's anything wrong with it, that they want to upgrade to bigger headaches and problems. That's exactly what they're going to buy. And they'll realize that as soon as they buy a newer Lexus and Toyota, that all the issues that are coming with the new technology and vehicles that they didn't have with their 10-year-old or 20-year-old Lexus or Toyota. And that's a fact. And if you don't believe me, check out the Car Care Nut. He is the Toyota guru expert in the entire world, and he'll tell you most technicians at Toyota and Lexus are recommending the needed maintenance to make that car last, and that's a 100% fact. And I'll tell you for a fact that every Lexus and Toyota that I see that comes from the Lexus trade-in, from the Lexus used car dealer that this guy buys, are in mint condition. Now we're going to, less the blems in the paint and less the wheels and, little teeny tiny things. But typically, these cars are in decent condition. Now, take any other car from any other dealership traded in, giving neglected, poor condition, poor maintenance. Some fleet vehicles have fleet companies usually in great shape. Hyundais and Kias, typically a basket case of problems because of no repairs and maintenance. I'm going to tell you, some of these technicians in the dealership service base, I don't think they care about recommending maintenance. I don't know the truth of it, but I'll tell you, if you want your car to last longer, you have to do more than just an oil change. You have to do the oil changes way before the dealership technicians or not technicians, because the technicians are just doing what the manufacturer's saying. So whatever the owner's manual says, cut it in half. And if you're beating the crap out of your car, you need to do it even sooner. So if an oil change is at 10K, you better do it at 5. And if you're doing it as a second owner and trying to catch up on the maintenance, sometimes it's impossible because there's so much neglect that went on in that vehicle that you're not aware of, or either the guy that sold it to you is aware of. And that's a fact. If you want your car to last, you have to do the maintenance. You are not going to make any of these vehicles today last by doing oil changes at 10,000 miles. You need to change the oil, change the filters, maintenance the throttle bodies, lubricate the chassis, lubricate the door hinges, lubricate the sunroof tracks, clean the sunroof drains, GDI services, fuel injection services, tune-up sooner than later, PCV valve replacements. All this is maintenance that nobody does. And I feel that a lot of dealership technicians aren't recommending it. That's why you see so many cars in bad shape. On top of the consumer, in this world of confusion, like, well, you sold me the car and you said do my oil changes at 10,000 miles, and my motor grenaded at 60,000 miles. Do the maintenance. If you don't have a mechanic that's telling you what's wrong with your car, you need a new mechanic. We just had a customer in here the other day, 22,000 mile vehicle. Oil change was done at another shop. He wasn't aware the tires were completely trashed. The brakes were rusted out in the back. The power steering was leaking. The air filter was dirty. The wiper blades were bad. He wasn't aware. Why? Because the technician who just spilled and filled didn't tell him. Now, I didn't get that customer back to do the work. And that was like 4 or 5 customers in a row that just said, I wasn't aware that this car was in this condition. You need a new service provider. That's a fact. And it's costly. Do you think people in the Olympics or these champions around the world are not getting the best advice from people who know what it takes to become the best? And how do you have the best vehicle and last the longest and perform the best? You have to do the maintenance. So, example, Olympians, do you think they're eating Burger King and McDonald's? Subway? No, not at all. Not at all. Do you think they're out drinking all night long and smoking weed? Nope. They're putting their bodies on a strict maintenance schedule, a strict training schedule, a strict sleep schedule, maintenance their bodies to exceed the benefits of just doing nothing. Do you think that people in the Olympics or these Olympian powerlifters are eating bad and not training? No. It costs money to get to those levels, and you have to have the right people advising you that, and that's a fact. Are sludge problems created by the manufacturers? Somewhat. Most of the sludge in engine oil today is from customers using cheap gasoline, doing zero maintenance, overextending the oil changes. Proof is fact. I have no sludge issues in any of my vehicles. Why? Because I do the maintenance. Why does my Toyota Sequoia have over 300,000 miles and I'm the third owner? I had to get past all the abuse that everyone put it through. So the first owner probably took care of it. The second owner, obviously, when I bought it from the used car dealership, didn't take care of it. So I took care of all the problems. And it's got over 300,000 miles on it. And it runs fantastic. Has a tune-up problem, and I noticed it on the slightest issue without a check engine light. Full tune-up. Do everything. That was me. Oil changes every 3,000 miles. It needs brakes, replace everything. Needs this, needs that, fix everything. That's where there's not a list of problems brewing. Fuel injection services, do them. Throttle body maintenance, do it. So there's the keys to how to make your car last longer, is you have to commit to taking care of it, and you need the right person advising you. Scotty Kilmer is not the right person to advise you how to keep a car. That's a fact. But that's the tricks. How do I keep a car running forever in tip-top condition? You need a technician who knows what he's doing. He's not afraid to advise you maintenance regardless of what you're in for. An example would be you're in for an oil change and your car has 30,000 miles on it, and he doesn't recommend a 30K. You're due for a 30K. It's check everything and report the conditions and do the maintenance. Another 30,000 miles, it's the 60K. 90K, on and on and on. And it's maintenance. That's how you keep up with the engine. But if you don't do any of the newer practices for these vehicles today, because they don't put them in your owner's manual, at 30K, you can need a new engine. You can need a new cylinder head. You could need fuel injectors. Hondas today can't make it 100,000 miles without a head gasket or fuel injectors or a carbon service. My bookkeeper, accountant, bought an Acura because they were supposed to be the most reliable vehicle, dealer serviced, bottom end recall, they put bearings in it. 3 months later, it's shut off at a traffic light. She was just here the other day. She drove it back to the dealership. And when does a Honda or Acura ever have a stalling problem? Never. Never. When does a Honda Acura ever have internal engine failure? Never. She was doing the oil changes every 10,000 miles. I pulled the dipstick and I showed her the burn marks up the dipstick from it burning oil and consuming oil. 10,000 mile oil changes won't do it for you people. So they put a fuel pump in it. When does an Acura or a Honda need a fuel pump at 60 or 70,000 miles? Never. Junk. So can't avoid that part of it. But next is going to be the fuel injectors. Why? I bet you Acura's never recommended any maintenance on that vehicle. I know for a fact. No diffs, no transfer case, no fuel injections, no GDIs. I guarantee it. So maintenance is the key if you want to keep your car forever. And if you don't want to keep your car forever, keep going to the mechanic that doesn't advise you anything. Thanks for watching.